sunrise in my eyes. My rock's sweeter, meet the one I love. I don't know how, don't know why. I've been toasting all my life. Oh, it's sweeter. I've been toasting all my life.
Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea to Dune race. Nervous moments always as they gather on the beach, the tension mounting, and away they go. There's the defending champion, wearing his familiar navy blue and white, great waddling style. Another pre-race favourite though, losing touch with the pack. Maybe that's why. A few too many fish in the day's feeding. There's a familiar face, Skip McIntyre, 8 times a champion back in the 90s, a very successful coach now, keeping a keen eye on proceedings. This the leading group, 1 or 2 still able to put on a show for the camera, others just ploughing straight over it. Some resorting to shortcuts. Sad that cheating has crept into this beautiful sport. The judges will have a look at that. But up at the front, the pace is relentless, closing in on those sand dunes that will offer a bed for the night. The fatigue starting to tell. Who's got the finishing kick up on the outside? What a turn of pace from that one, whichever one it is. No answer from the rest, and he takes victory. What a win. There we are, into the Burrow, building an extension with his winnings, and back tomorrow to try and defend his title here on Phillip Island.
Hi everyone and welcome to another night of Live Penguin TV. My name is Jordan and it feels like I haven't done the live stream in quite a while, so I'm very, very happy to be back. Hello all you Waddle watchers, I hope you're excited to watch these little guys who have already started the smallest species of penguins in the world here at the Penguin Parade in Phillip Island, Victoria, Australia. Getting ready to watch them make their dangerous dash, or it's kind of a bit more of a dangerous hop across these rocks tonight because they've got a very, very high tide, so not a huge stretch of beach to cross until they get on land and make their way back to their burrows. Tonight we are joined by Anna. So Anna, come on in and say hello and let us know what you'll be doing tonight.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna. Lovely for you to join us this evening. So tonight I'm going to be monitoring your questions a little bit across Facebook, a little bit across YouTube. So please keep sending them in so we can get Jordan to answer them live. And we love quirky questions, so send in those quirky questions as well.
We absolutely love quirky questions. Thanks, Anna. And Anna has been on a little bit of a break from Live Penguin TV, so it's really great to have her back. And you got a brand new, fresh face and a fresh voice as well. So just first of all, speaking of a few quirky questions, you might have been, if you are a fellow Waddle Watcher who is a regular viewer, you might remember a time where Yvonne asked me a question over Facebook, I think it was, and that was how many blood types do penguins have? And at the time, it was the weekend, and I felt a little bit bad about asking our researchers, oh look, we've got a sooty oyster catcher hanging out on the beach just behind the penguins. Hey little dude. I felt bad messaging and emailing our researchers over the weekend to see if I could find an answer to that question. But I have since sent an email and had lots of good chats with our research technical officer, Paula, and also our marine biologist or local penguinologist, Dr. Andre. And neither of them know how many blood types penguins have. So it's something that we haven't studied here at Phillip Island Nature Park. So really great question. I think it was from Yvonne. So keep those cool, quirky little questions coming. Hopefully we'll still do a little bit of digging, and we're waiting for a penguin expert to get back to us who is kind of knows a lot about penguin blood, and yeah, we'll see if we can get an actual answer from him. So really, really great questions. We aren't able to answer every single thing because we haven't studied every single little thing about penguins. The way that we do find out as much as we can about penguins is to do research studies on them, and a lot of our research projects are funded through tourism, so people coming to visit us here at Phillip Island Nature Parks. And if you have a look, we've got some people watching the penguins. Looks like I've got a lovely couple down there watching them as they come home. So anyone who's bought a ticket, bought souvenirs and things like that is helping with our ongoing conservation education and research projects, because we are a non-for-profit conservation organisation. And if you aren't able to join us here at Phillip Island Nature Parks at the Penguin Parade, Koala Conservation Reserve, Churchill Island Heritage Farm, or any of our other beautiful woodland or ocean reserves, you can adopt a penguin, become a penguin pal, or just donate to the Penguin Foundation and get a cool little plushie that helps us with our ongoing conservation education and research projects that help us find out all different things about penguins and how we can best help protect them in the wild and make sure they get home nice and safely when they're here on land and also when they are out in the ocean. So we've had our first little group cross just over here, and we're very, very excited that we do have oh, there's Michael. There's Ranger Michael. You would have seen him on the live stream, making sure everyone's behaving themselves and they're making the penguins' trip home nice and safe and not stressful. Can I see a few more penguins out in the water? I'm not too sure. Maybe. Oh, yep, there's one rushing back into the waves. But yeah, we can have up to 500 people at the Penguin Parade now, which is super duper exciting. So more and more people coming to view the penguins, and more people to chat to, of course. But that's more and more people bringing in money for our education, conservation and research projects to help protect little penguins and our other threatened species here on Phillip Island. And Phillip Island is also known as Malau. Malau is look, we've got a couple coming up on our highway camera. I'll flick to that one when a little bit kind of further in the stream. But we are here on Malau, which is the traditional name given by the Bunurong people, who are the traditional custodians of the land here on Malau, and who have been here for up to 10,000 years, living peacefully with the penguins, the plants, the animals and the environment. So I would like to acknowledge the Bunurong as the traditional custodians of the land and pay my respect to their elders, past, present and emerging, and thank them for their care and connection to country and the sustainable management of Malau over many thousands of years. And we are lucky enough here at the Penguin Parade on Phillip Island to have a very healthy colony, the largest colony of the little penguins in the world, 32,000 strong. So I would love to, again, extend my respect to any Bunurong who are watching tonight, and also any other First Nations people who are trying to live sustainably with the land, and also extending that further to each and every one of you who I hope are learning little bits about penguins and the different ways that you can help protect them and our local environment, whether that's here on Phillip Island, on Malau, or wherever it may be, Australia-wide or international. So let us know in the comments all the little things that you're doing to help make a penguin's journey home that little bit safer and helping to protect your local environment, because we absolutely love it, and you might inspire someone to make a small little change and help out our local wildlife as well. So thank you very much to all of you. So it looks like we've had those first couple, there was only a very small group crossing just then. On my night off, I was watching Megan doing the live stream last night, and there were loads of penguins in the first couple of rafts, but it seems like it's only fairly small. But they have started to cross earlier than last night. I think last night they started crossing the beach at 8:37, so it's a little bit, they've crossed a little bit earlier tonight. In fact, it was a few minutes ago, so they're obviously very, very keen to get home. Where have you gone, little penguins? Very, very tricky to spot in the rocks, but obviously that offers them a little bit more camouflage here as well. But one thing that you are probably all desperate to know if you are regular wattle watchers, huck to you all, is how many penguins crossed the beach last night. And let me tell you, it was an absolute whopper of a number, and I think that Anna has the magic number for me, so let us know how many crossed the beach last night, Anna.
Hi Jordan, so 1,578 penguins crossed last night.
1,578, woo! That is a stack of penguins. Hopefully we get very, very similar big numbers tonight. That's very exciting. Now these little dudes over here, looks like they kind of washed up where the other ones started crossing the beach, but then realised that really wasn't their pathway home. So it looks like they're kind of floating a little bit further east, and they've decided that is their little kind of route that they take to go home. And because just like we do, penguins have their own address. They've got their own little house that they go back to. And yeah, they will be heading back there tonight, whether it's nice and close to land or whether it might be up to 2 kilometres inland. Who knows? Now, we haven't seen any kind of big groups in a while, so I do want to just scoot back over to Penguins Plus, and if we don't spot any penguins, looks like there's someone coming up the highway. In fact, let me just have a quick... Oh yeah, we've got 3 of them coming up on our highway. Welcome home, you wonderful trio. And I'll see if we can spot any back on the main beach as well. So we always love looking at these guys. You're going to walk too quick for me, I think. Oh, you're stopping. You are really having a good look at the camera. Hey, little one. And we can follow them all the way around and watch them as they scoot on up the hill on a pathway that we call the Penguin Highway. So again, just like we do, they've got their own burrows that they will be heading back to tonight, and they know that this is their kind of the most direct, the easiest route to head back home. Look at this one looking at its reflection in the window over there, and they will slowly peel off on the little exits to their highway or find the little residential street or driveway that they know is their home. So good luck on your journey home. You can see it's even still very, very light. So again, last night the penguins crossed the beach 3 minutes into the future. So they still hadn't crossed by this time last night. So very high tide, even though it's very light still, they are super duper keen to get home. And I wonder if that's because a lot of them will be coming back to feed their chicks. So you might have heard from Sky last week that a lot of our penguins have actually started on their second clutch. So they've had their 2 chicks, they've fed them, regurgitated lots of yummy fish and all jellyfish, squid, yum, 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 all that beautiful stuff. I think I've just spotted a few hanging out in the water over here. They've kicked their chicks out of the burrow. They've changed the locks. Some of them have even decided to switch up little nest boxes. So we always used to think that if they had a really successful breeding season, they would always return to the same nest box. But turns out if there's an equally good one nearby, they might decide to kind of move next door if there's no one living in that box, which is something that Megan and I didn't know about, and I'm assuming you guys didn't know either. So yeah, pretty cool thing that I've learnt during the second clutch. Now, where are those penguins? It is still so light at the moment. I'm not surprised that the majority of the penguins, which are probably, is that a raft out there? That are probably out in the ocean forming a group, which is called a raft. And to form this raft, they have to make a call out to each other. And the call is called a huck, which sounds like huck, 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 huck. Got to make sure Anna's paying attention. And it looks like we have a raft just out here. And you can see it looks like there's kind of a shadow in the water. They're slowly making their way in. They're making those huck, huck, huck noises. And they're trying to see, is there anyone else out there? Is it safe? Can we cross the beach yet? What do we think? And so we will be having 2 people counting penguins tonight. Our main penguin counter this evening is Sally. So she will be up in the skybox, which is there's a white building in between our 2 main grandstands, and she'll be there with a pair of binoculars. And when the penguins start crossing the beach, she'll be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 100, or however many penguins are in that group. And if she is able to let us know throughout the stream, throughout the night, does it look like that raft is kind of splitting up a little bit? Maybe. She will let us know how many are in each group that are crossing the beach, but we would love to know how many penguins you think are actually crossing the beach and how many penguins you predict will cross the beach in 50 minutes tonight. So 50 minutes. Now, I think Anna did just get a call from Sally. Have we got any interesting news, Anna?
So we have had a start to the count. And we also have some penguins coming in around the right-hand side of Penguins Plus. So a little bit different than when they normally come in that middle section there.
The right side of Penguins Plus. Let us go and have a look. This right?
That right.
I'm assuming... It's not our right, not the penguins' right. Oh, yeah, I think I've spotted them. I've just confused myself and Anna. Never mind. Oh, yeah, we've got a few hanging around there. But, yeah, because it is so light, doesn't look like the majority of them are too keen to cross the beach yet. And you know what? I don't think I've explained quite why that might be the case. So if you are a regular Wattle watcher, you will know exactly why the penguins cross it around about the same time at night when it gets to a similar level of darkness. And it's because when they cross the beach at the end of the night and in the morning when they're heading out into the ocean, it's the scariest and most dangerous time of the day for these little penguins because they will be subject to predation by predatory birds. So swamp harriers, sea eagles, whistling kites, things like that would love to snack on a penguin for an early morning snack or a pre-sleep snack, I guess. Heard something from Sally?
We did. So there's apparently a group in the centre coming through now.
Whoa, all right. We are going to leave these penguins.
All over the beach tonight, Jordan.
What are the penguins doing? I've had a week and a half off. They are just playing with me. Can we see any penguins? I'm so sorry if I make anyone seasick. So I'm going to be taking you over, no penguins, to the centre pathway. Oh, yep, there they are. We'll be coming up in between the 2 grandstands for the people in the general viewing area to see. Apologies. Let's have a look and see if we can count how many are there. It looks like we've got a few silver gulls hanging around. Oh, yep, there they are. There is one brave little penguin. Look, all the other penguins have run back into the water as the wave recedes. But there's one super duper brave penguin. Or are you not so brave anymore? You're going to wait for your friends? You can hear them going, huck, huck, huck. Look at him. I'm so impressed with this penguin. No, stay where you are. Be brave. Oh, it looks like your friends are coming back. Good work. Oh, yeah, it's a little bit scary crossing the beach, especially at this time of the night where there might potentially still be a few of those scary predatory birds around that would, again, love to snack on one of these penguins because they are only about 33 centimetres. Oh, the waves are bringing them back again. Hang on. The penguins are struggling. Oh, and then the wave gets them again. So when the sun sets, that's when these predatory birds head back to their nest. They head back to roost. Whoa, look at these pro surfers having a bit of a dip in the ocean before they head home. So when the sun sets, the penguins know that they can cross this open sandy beach and not get swooped down on. So there are a few white silver gulls hanging around. You can see them just flying across the screen at the moment. The bigger kind of cousins of those, the kelp and Pacific gulls, would love to kind of eat maybe a chick or an underweight adult, but the ones hanging around on the beach at the moment are just after people's chips and popcorn, so they're not a threat to these little penguins either. And I think Sally is quite chatty on the radio tonight. I can hear Anna really quiet going, "Yep, cool, got it, thanks Sally, it's all good," trying not to interrupt me. So again, any cool news?
Yes, so exciting news. Head back to Penguins Plus, Jordan, because we've got a big group about to come in.
Woohoo! I hope you guys are ready to count everyone. We've got a nice big group at Penguins Plus. Apparently, let us scooch on over and have a little bit of a look. Can we spot them? Where are you? Oh, there they are. Spotted them. They were just off screen a little bit. Oh, it's a nice big group, so good luck to Sally and all you water watchers out there trying to count these penguins. So this is what we want to see. There is safety in numbers crossing the beach at night, so less likely if there is a predator out and about. When you've got lots of you, less likely that you're going to be the one that gets picked off. But one of them has decided they had seen something. Are they all going to race back? No, it looks like this first group don't really know that the ones at the back are a little bit nervous, so they are just powering on through, especially because they do have that really high tide tonight, so not a huge stretch of beach to cross, so not that long stretch where they're going to be really vulnerable to predation and things like that. Now, we normally have around about 20 minutes. Oh, we go. We're going to run back. What are we doing? Gosh, penguins really are all over the place. You're right, night Anna. So I say we normally do about 20 minutes of penguin kind of time. And we might kind of start that 20 minutes around about now because we only had quite a few, we only had very few penguins crossing the beach super early on. So I want to make sure you get your penguin fix tonight and we get to see some really nice big groups, or wattles we like to call them, crossing the beach tonight. Now you can see that these penguins, as they are crossing the rocks, they're quite well camouflaged compared to when they're crossing the open sand. So the ones coming up here at Penguins Plus, they're a little bit more relaxed because they know they blend in, that they camouflage a little bit better as they come up here. Whereas the ones that we saw washing up kind of in the center pathway, they were a little bit more nervous. It was just sand. There was no, the sand doesn't offer them any camouflage. So they really like coming up just over here as well. Wonder which pathway we are going to be following tonight. Penguins everywhere. So in the comments, let us know how many penguins you think cross the beach tonight. Oh, look, there's Michael being a penguin protector and making sure everyone is doing the right thing. Do we have any numbers for how many penguins are crossing the beach yet, Anna?
We certainly do, Jordan.
Awesome.
So the first group, that first big group we saw tonight, 125 penguins.
Woohoo! 125 penguins. Were there many guesses in the comments that you saw, Anna?
There was a few guesses, but some have guessed, I think about the closest was about 200.
200. All right, we've got to work on our penguin counting skills, everyone. If you want to come and work with Anna and us as penguin rangers, we would love to have you, especially when we're getting more and more people coming in the doors. We want to have more and more people to protect the penguins. Just wanted to zoom in on these guys over here because it looks like since we've had a little bit of excavation where we used to have the pool. Oh, actually, you know what? Changed my mind. Let us go to the Penguin Highway and watch these guys as they zoom on up. This is top speed, everyone, and my goodness, there are some full bellies coming up just over here. So it looks like they've been eating lots of food, finding lots of delicious fish, jellyfish, squid, pilchards, anchovies, all that good stuff out in the ocean. I'll see if we can follow some around, but they definitely are not stopping. When they've got more friends to come home, you're stopping to have a look at the scenery on the way. You can see they've got a lot more confidence than the ones that we saw just a little bit earlier on. And one thing I also wanted to talk about briefly was, you might have, if you were watching last night, and I think Megan was probably in this, scooting along. What are you guys doing? Oh, in fact, is that one? Oh no, I think it's just a reflection. Oh no. So, okay, can we see that this penguin kind of up here, it looks like it's got a little bit of a, looks like it's maybe got some white feathers on its back. We saw something very similar last night with another penguin. It did look a little bit different. It is relatively rare, but sometimes it does happen that whether a penguin has kind of had maybe some rubbing between its shoulders or on its back, or maybe it's in kind of an old injury and the feathers aren't growing back quite well, or it might be kind of a newer injury. Sometimes the waterproof feathers, those dark ones on the back, don't grow back until when they start their new molting process. But don't worry, the penguin that we saw doing that last night and that one that we just saw now looked like very, very fat, healthy penguins. They were waddling very, very well. And so when that happens, the kind of second layer of feathers underneath their blue feathers on top, which help keep them waterproof. They can actually waterproof those downy feathers. Hello, we've got some more friends coming along. So it might just look a little bit funny, but yeah, never fear. Those penguins, as long as they're looking fat and healthy, they're very safe and healthier to stay out in the environment. But if we see a penguin that looks a little bit sick, maybe underweight, maybe has kind of an injury and things like that, that's when we do take them into our wildlife hospital if we don't think that they're going to survive out in the environment. So that penguin that we just saw and the one that we saw last night, we had a concerned wattle watcher message us and asked if the penguin was okay. As I said, as long as they're fat, as long as they're healthy, we know that they can keep waterproof those little downy under layer of feathers. So we are not worried, we are not stressed about that penguin at all. But as we kind of head later into the year, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, our penguins go through a molting season where every single year they lose and replace every single one of their feathers, kind of in late summer, looks like we might have a shell gridder. I wondered if that was the case. Lose and replace all of their feathers, kind of, late summer, early autumn. So if they do kind of have a bit of a bald patch because they've rubbed themselves a little bit, or maybe they've got a bit of an injury and their feathers have worn away, they will be able to make sure that they lose and replace all those feathers, and they will look like a beautiful brand new sleek penguin, just like the other penguins coming up just now. So again, thank you for your concern. We love all the questions. We love how why aren't you focusing, camera? Come on, can I zoom in on you? As I said, any questions, any concern, do let us know. But yeah, happy to let you know that those penguins are very, very happy and very safe. Now, I wondered if this penguin over here might have been a shell gridder, a female penguin with eggs in her tummy, but I don't really know exactly what that penguin's doing. So we might jump back to our main camera and see what's going on. And see if there's any more penguins starting to cross the beach. So I did mention we are getting lots of questions coming in. Oh, it looks like we've got another group that's just started making their way in across the rock. So we might go to Anna to see if we've had any really great questions coming through. Any questions that I can answer or that might even stump me again, because we always love those really great questions. So let's have one, Anna.
All right, Jordan. So we've had a few questions tonight about eyesight and eyelids of the little penguins. So Eli would like to know, can you explain the eyelids on a penguin? And Kylie would like to know, how good's the penguin's sight and if they can see in colour?
Ian and Kylie?
Ian and Kylie.
All right.
Eli and Kylie.
Eli and Kylie. Sorry, Eli. So penguins have 3 eyelids. So they just have eyelids like us, and they've also got a third eyelid, which kind of acts like a pair of goggles when they're out in the ocean. So it's kind of like a thin membrane that goes across their eye. I know it kind of sounds a bit like an alien, but you'll find that a lot of seabirds and even some reptiles have this as well, but it allows them to kind of see underwater. So, if you're wearing a pair of goggles, there's kind of a layer, or there's some air that's trapped between the ocean, between the water and between your eye, which helps your eyes focus and see clearly. So the penguins kind of have inbuilt goggles that allow them to see underwater, which is really, really cool. So I hope that answers your question about eyelids. So it means they're really, really well adapted to life at sea, seeing underwater, seeing their prey, and also seeing any predators that are out to get them as well. And who was the other
So Kylie.
Kylie wants to know how good their eyesight is. So, good question. They do have fairly good eyesight and they rely on their eyes to make their way home, whether that's out in the ocean, they're looking for landmarks, whether it's they're kind of in the ocean. Sometimes they even look, oh, look, we've got some coming out on the highway as well. Whether they're kind of looking down, they sometimes even look for landmarks in the ocean as well, looking at coral reefs and things, which is really cool. And when they start to make their way home at night as well, they use the daylight so they can see better, just like us, in daylight as well. The kind of exact pathway that they need to take to get home. They don't have great night vision, but they can kind of see a little bit. So when we turn all the lights off after about 50 minutes at the Penguin Parade, the penguins are still able to get out and about and work out their way home. So they do have fairly good eyesight. But what I can tell you is that penguins, they see very, very well in blue and green coloured light. And that helps them to be able to kind of find their food out in the ocean. So the ocean's very blue, very green, so it allows them to see very, very clearly in those coloured lights. But penguins don't see very well in the red, kind of orange and yellow spectrum. It looks like we've got a few more penguins at the water's edge just at the moment. Oh, and in fact, I just wanted to zoom in on this guy. I'll keep answering your question, don't worry. What's going on over here? Oh, big stretch. Yeah, so they don't see very well in blue and green coloured light. So that's why all of our lights here at the Penguin Parade are kind of reddy orange colour. So the penguins can see some kind of light, but it's not as clear as what we can see them. And yeah, we always turn them off at the same time every night. So if the penguins decide to come home while we've got the lights on, they can do that and they're not stressed out. But if they want to come in a little bit later after the people have gone, after the lights are out, they can do that and we don't alter their behaviour either. So thank you for your questions. It was Eli and Kylie.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of eyesight related questions. I hope that satisfies you tonight, everyone. Now it looks like, oh, there's some more penguins scooting off the rocks. You've literally crossed all the way across the beach and now you're running back into the ocean. Oh, penguins, what are you doing? You're in that one. Kind of right in the... I guess it's to my... No, that way. This is mirror image, so it's always hard to work out if things are left or right. Let us see if we can go and find those penguins. Oh, yeah, there they go. There's a few milling around out in the water. They're going to try for round 2 after their hearts kind of relax a little bit. After they go, oh, no, it's okay. We're all good. Doesn't matter. There's no threat. So, again, we haven't seen any more huge groups coming along. But let us know in the comments if you see them. And again, how many penguins you think are in each group as well. I just want to zoom back up or pan into the ocean, see if I can see any more rafts coming in. At home, if you're watching on a big TV, you can probably see them a lot better than what I can. So again, let us know if you can spot anything. But for now, I might just zoom in on these guys hanging around right at the water's edge. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about. Can everyone see we have a penguin going the opposite way? It's going down the hill, not up the hill. That to me looks like something called a shell gritter. So I briefly mentioned them a little bit earlier and you've got to go around the corner. That's okay. Well, now when we jump back to the main screen. So if you see, again, any penguins going the opposite way from land kind of down towards the beach tonight, you'll know that that is a female penguin. And then the next 4 to 5 days or so, she will be laying her first of 2 eggs. And some female penguins, when they are getting ready to lay those eggs, when the eggshell is forming inside them, they kind of get calcium cravings because they strip the calcium from their bones to make the eggshells nice, strong and healthy. So yeah, some of them will head down to the beach if they've spent the day on land in their burrows hiding away, because they know that if they're out and about during the day, that's when they might get eaten by a big scary predatory bird. So if they hide in their burrow, they're not going to be hunted. And when they're in the ocean, their beautiful navy blue feathers on their back help them camouflage in the water, so any predatory birds flying around during the day aren't able to spot them against the surface of the ocean. So they're pretty clever little penguins, these guys. Looks like we've got a few penguins. What do we think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 2 more shell gritters going down the highway. You go, girls, joining the mothers club. But there was one very determined mother, obviously, who wasn't ready to wait for those penguins. So Anna has unfortunately just advised me that we've got about 5 more minutes left of live Penguin TV tonight, which if you have been watching myself on live Penguin TV, you'll know that my 5 minutes usually turns into 10 minutes, and I was having this joke with Anna a little bit earlier before the stream started. So I'll usually try to stick to the time limit, but I might go a little bit over. Shh, don't tell anyone. Be able to see these guys as they are preening their feathers. They've just been out in the ocean. Their feathers are probably all kind of ocean swept. They've got those beautiful beach waves going on, and now they're hanging out on the resting rocks. They're preening themselves. They're making sure their feathers are all aligned. They're interlocking nicely, which help make them waterproof the next time they're out in the ocean. And because these penguins have such dense feathers, if their feathers are a little bit ruffled, it's actually a little bit kind of uncomfortable for them because any little slight ruffle of their feathers, they can really, really feel it. So it's important that when they come back on land, they make sure their feathers are all nice and sleek and interlocking beautifully. And they'll also be re-waterproofing themselves from a little oil gland at the base of their tail. So if it looks like they're picking their bottom, looks like we've got a nice big group coming up to Penguins Plus now. Let me zoom out so we can get all of them. So yeah, if you see them pecking their bottom and rubbing their beak through their feathers, they'll be conditioning their feathers with that waterproof oil gland, or the oil from their oil gland. Yep, that makes sense. And yeah, making sure their feathers are nice and waterproof and conditioned for when they go out into the ocean the next time. And of course, making sure they're looking beautiful and sexy for their breeding partner back home. My goodness, that is a stack of penguins, and we might have a number, do we, Anna?
Not a number yet, but we do have a question related a little bit to breeding, Jordan.
Cool.
Because I've just sort of come through that breeding season and chicks are starting to head out and fledge, we've had a question about how long does it take before a little penguin becomes an adult? So one of those chicks.
Yeah, beautiful. So how long does it I can answer this a few different ways. So here we go, ready for story time with Jordan. So how long does it take a chick to become an adult? So it's usually when they hatch. Oh, looks like, we got a shell gritter, sorry. Just wanted to show you what a shell gritter does. Have a look at this penguin just in the middle of the screen. Every now and then you can see it stops and kind of looks at the ground. So she is looking for any little bits of seashell that she can find because she has eggs developing inside her. You go, girl. You get that calcium. So how long does it take a chick to become an adult? So they fledge, so by the time they hatch and their parents give them lots of yummy food, it takes them between 7 to 11 weeks to be fully grown and head out into the ocean and find food for themselves. Because we've had such a good breeding season this year, the mum and dad are coming back pretty much every night and heading out every morning, then coming back the next night to feed their chicks. So the chicks are nice and fat, they're nice and full, and they're staying on land a little bit longer. So it's kind of, most of them are pushing that 10 to 11 week mark. But in years where maybe there's not quite as much fish or breeding success is a little bit lower, and the parent penguins can't find enough food for themselves, let alone their chicks, the chicks will have to fledge a little bit earlier, towards that 7 weeks or so. But a penguin or a chick or a juvenile is fully grown when it's sexually mature at about 2 to 3 years old, when it's ready to have chicks of its own. So they don't start breeding in the first year of their life. It's usually at about 2 to 3 years old, and I believe the females can start breeding a little bit earlier, and the male penguins are a little bit later, so maybe that 2.5 to 3 years, depending on when they hatched. So I hope that answers your question, and we might go for maybe 1 or 2 more questions throughout the stream, so that we can make sure we are answering all of your wonderful questions. Now, I just wanted to jump to the Penguin Highway because I absolutely love this angle, and I'm kind of obsessed with this camera at the moment. Now that we get to zoom it, now that we get to pan it around, it looks like we've got a few more penguins that are going to come around the corner. And again, we can see some legs sitting up on the Penguins Plus stand just above Yep, that way. So this could be you if you live in Victoria. You can come and visit these little guys here at the Penguin Parade. Now that we have a capacity of 500 people, just make sure you book your tickets in advance, because we definitely don't want you to miss out. I think everyone is very, very keen now that Victoria is a little bit more open again. Oh my God, I can't keep up. Everyone is keen to go out, get out of the house and do something. So we would absolutely love to have you here at the Penguin Parade. And if you see any of us throughout the night, throughout your journeys on Phillip Island, on Malau, or the Penguin Parade, make sure you come up and say hi and even huck. We would absolutely love to know that you've been watching Live Penguin TV and you've learned a thing or two about these little guys that we love to talk about so much. So it looks like we've got a little bit of a kind of resting spot just up over here. They're not in too much of a hurry to head off. I can see a few penguins kind of up, hanging around in the, just going to jump back. We can see there's a few penguins starting to make their way up the hill. We can see a few little bodies in the grass. So it might be because there's a burrow nearby. It might be a very eligible young bachelor or bachelorette. I wonder, if this is, oh, actually there's 3 of them. I wonder if it's a love triangle. We won't know unless we keep looking. But penguins are, here we go, going to get into something a little bit saucy. Penguins are what we call socially monogamous, which means they typically pair up with the same breeding partner year after year, especially if they have a successful breeding season, if they are able to successfully fledge their 2 chicks. But if they don't have as much luck, they go, I'm going to find someone who's going to be a little bit better at raising chicks, so they might get divorced in the next season. But even if penguins do kind of stay together year after year, which we have seen, I was actually looking into a few, look at them all scattered out and about here. I was looking into kind of the breeding pair history of some penguins the other day, and it was really lovely to see. There's a pair of penguins in our study site that this is their 7th year in a row that they've bred together, so that's really, really exciting. But even if that's the case, especially if you have a burrow quite a bit further inland, you have access to lots of secret boyfriends and girlfriends along the way. So even if they do return to that same breeding partner, it might just not necessarily be dad's biological children that he's raising. But as long as the eggs are laid in his burrow, as long as he can raise them himself, he doesn't know, so what he doesn't know won't hurt him. All right, we might have 1 or 2 more questions before Anna and I sign off for the night. So let's have another question from the audience, Anna.
All right, so Karen would like to know if the penguin colony is expanding. So have the penguins found the new viewing boxes up near the visitor centre yet?
Karen. So is the penguin colony expanding? It's kind of a 2-pronged question. And have they found the new viewing boxes up at the new building? So if you have come to visit us here at the Penguin Parade, you'll have noticed that we have a beautiful big brand new building that was open to the public. I think it was in July last year, so it's still only fairly new. I just wanted to have a look at the water's edge and see if we can, there's a few more coming in. So we've opened up we used to have an old building a little bit kind of further in the penguin colony, which was built kind of in the mid-80s as a little hub to help stem tourism flow and guide people onto the boardwalks rather than letting people kind of just walk through the habitat, crushing burrows, destroying vegetation that helps keep their burrows intact. So to kind of help with tourism, to make sure that people coming to view the penguins didn't hurt the penguins, which of course we do not want. So we moved our old building back, and we've got some little kind of viewing boxes which are like little mortgage-free penguin homes, and there's a little kind of peepee hole at the looks like we've got sorry, we have a wallaby on the beach, and it's going to go too quickly. What are the penguins going to think of this? Bounce. Oh, he's gone. Oh no, it's still there. It's bouncing a little bit too quick for me to catch up. I get so distracted on this live stream. I'm so sorry. Where did I get up to? No, Anna doesn't know either. She was getting distracted by the wallaby too. I think I was talking about the new boxes, the new buildings. So we don't have anyone that live permanently in these little nest boxes in the building that have the little peeping holes, just because it's a little bit further back from the kind of natural or historical range of the penguins. But occasionally, very, very occasionally, we will get a penguin just coming in to check out the space. It might be a fledgling who's trying to work its way out into the ocean, but kind of gets turned around a little bit lost. And so when the sun starts to come up, it knows that it has to try and find a really safe place so that it doesn't get eaten by a predatory bird or anything like that. Looks like we've got a few more penguins coming up on the Penguin Highway. Let's have a look at you guys over here. But they're usually gone the next day. But yeah, great question regarding the viewing boxes in the new building. But the first part of that question was, is the colony expanding? Cool. So no, they're not. And I know that might kind of sound like a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing. They have been around about 32,000 in the colony for the last couple of times we've run the penguin census. We call it the penguin survey or the penguin census. Oh, it looks like we've got a shell gritter coming down. And I was lucky enough last year to do the field work for the penguin census. So go out and trying to track penguins and see exactly, work out the densities. Oh, look at these guys. I don't know where to go. Work out the density, and that kind of helps us with the data and work out exactly how many penguins live in a certain section. Then we can kind of extrapolate the data and work out, get an estimate as to how many penguins live in the Summerland Peninsula. Where are you going, little girl? Got another shell gritter here. So yeah, over the last couple of years, the colony has remained at about 32,000 since I think it was about 2013, which means that we've got plenty of space. There's actually still technically plenty of penguin habitat out in oh my God, I've gone well and truly over my 5 minutes. Whoops, oh well. Yeah, there's still plenty of really, really good habitat available for the penguins, but for whatever reason, the penguins haven't decided to colonize that area just yet. But the thing that really affects the size, the population of the colony is the amount of food out in the ocean. So more food for the parents, more food for the chicks. The chicks are more likely to survive, grow up, and then reproduce and pass on their genes to the next generation, hence growing the population here. So at the moment, they're at a really great stable level where they haven't really wavered much since or over the last 7 years or so, which means that there's nothing, how do I say this? So there's no really big factors which are affecting their population size at the moment. So it leads us to believe that a lot of the look, this girl just is not getting turned around by the stacks and stacks of penguins which are coming up the highway. Let's keep following your journey a little bit. So yeah, as long as we're able to protect their food out in the ocean, we've got rid of foxes here on Phillip Island. We keep building them their little kind of mortgage-free penguin homes, and we're trying to make them as heat-proof as we can in the face of climate change, because we are going to be having warmer and warmer days and consecutive days of high temperatures, and we want to make sure that when a penguin is on land in their burrows, they stay nice and cool. So doing things that are kind of mitigating any kind of potential threats to the penguin colony. It shows that we're doing all the right things, and that people who are coming to visit us here at the Penguin Parade are helping us to do that as well. So again, thank you to anyone who has donated to the Penguin Foundation or has come to visit us at any of our 4 attractions recently or in the past. We very much appreciate it. Where are you? Are you getting a little bit nervous, a little bit scared? Not sure. This shell gritter doesn't look like she quite knows what she's doing, so let us maybe head back to the main camera. So, in summary, the penguin population here at the Penguin Parade and the Summerland Peninsula is stable at about 32,000 penguins, and it has been so for several years. It's a really good indicator that there's enough food out in the ocean to supplement, to sustain this population of about 32,000 penguins, and that we're doing lots of things on land, things like getting rid of rubbish on beaches. Sometimes we unfortunately find rubbish in penguin burrows that we have to remove as well. There's plenty of shade, there's plenty of shelter and burrows available for the penguins, but as I said, the most important thing, or the most deterministic factor to the penguins' success here on Phillip Island and all penguin colonies is the amount of fish out in the ocean. So if there's one thing that I can ask all of you guys watching at home is to think a little bit about where your seafood might be coming from and try to pick sustainably sourced seafood, because it's not only going to help penguins but also seals, sharks, whales, dolphins and all kinds of things as well. So if you have a cat as well, one thing that I will ask you to do is make sure that your cat food doesn't include anchovies or pilchards, which are the most favourite food of the penguins. It consists of a really, really large part of their diet. So cats don't swim, they don't actually need to eat fish, so if you can avoid choosing cat food with fish in it, that is greatly going to help these penguins' chances of survival. More fish for the penguins, more adult survival, and more little brown fluffy chickies which are going to fledge after 7 to 11 weeks and make it to adulthood and hopefully make their way back to Phillip Island after their first year of life and start having some chicks, some eggs and things of their own. So I hope that answers your question, Karen. It was my very, very long-winded response. Let's now zoom in on these guys, because I think it is about time that we finish up, because I'm sure Anna gave you the 5 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. I told you. It's been a week and a half. I had lots to say. So I hope you had a really lovely time watching Live Penguin TV and joining in with Anna and myself tonight. You will be, I think, joining myself, and it might be Heather or Michael tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure, but if you want to tune in and watch more of these little guys, make sure you tune in night after night, same time, same place, so you can get your nightly little penguin fix and learn a little bit more about these penguins and the different ways that you can help protect them, whether you're here on Phillip Island or wherever home may be for you as well. Remember, if you can't join us straight away, but you would love to help us in the conservation work that we do for penguins and native wildlife island-wide, you can donate to the Penguin Foundation, and the link is in the description below. Again, thank you so much to everyone who has donated by becoming a Penguin Pal, adopting a penguin, or just donating. We really, really appreciate it, especially since we have had limited capacity and we have been shut down for quite a few months. That is going helping to fund our wildlife hospital, which takes care of sick and injured penguins, as well as other lots of cool funding, lots of cool research projects, so we can learn a little bit more about these guys as well. So I think that's a little bit about all I have to say for the night, except for goodbye. So before we do, we'll get Anna to come on in and say goodbye to you all. Anything that I've missed or anything else you want to say, Anna?
Oh, just to have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you back in the same place tomorrow night.
Beautiful. And of course, we have to finish with our signature huck off. And I'm going to rope Anna into doing some hucking for you as well. So I would love to see in the comments everyone saying goodbye in penguin language, which is huck huck. So everyone, good night. Have a wonderful evening. Stay sane and stay safe. Huck huck.